Hey guys, I'm Sebastian.
And I'm Christine.
This is This Week in Vegas, I love that, the
Ninth Island Connection podcast.
I love it. Welcome to our podcast, guys. This is where we bring you guys an inside look on everything going on in Vegas this week so that you can have the best possible time when you're here in Vegas.
And we're talking news, we're talking weather, we're talking events, we're even talking our experience because we are those crazy Vegas locals who actually do go to the Strip. We go downtown. We enjoy places like the Arts District and East Fremont Street in the Container Park. We love Vegas and we want to bring that to you.
So we do have a television show that you can watch right here on Hey Vegas also. We have a television show that airs throughout the country and you can stream right here. We bring you guys interviews with everyone from Oscar Goodman to Shane Victorino.
Carrot Top. The Conjures shows here in Vegas. Events that are happening. Restaurants, our favorite.
Really, all things Vegas. So check that out, guys. You're watching this because you're interested in Vegas, so you might as well watch our TV show as well.
From the TV show back to the podcast, let's get into it. We are going to start off with the news, what's been going on here in Vegas. One thing I found really interesting that I came across in the headlines this week, I don't know if you saw this, but the owner of Circus Circus, Phil Ruffin, is planning to sell Circus Circus, and he says it's about for $5 billion is what he's looking for. So I don't know if anyone out there has $5 billion just lying around where you want to purchase Circus Circus, but you got your work cut out for you.
Now, a little inside note, a little inside scoop. That's the first time I ever came to Vegas. I stayed at Circus Circus and got married in the same trip. And I used to joke, I'm never going back to Vegas because I stayed at Circus Circus for the first time and I got married. So anyhow, I don't know if anything has changed since I stayed at Circus Circus way back in 2008. But I've really never heard anything about any remodels or renovations or really anything happening at Circus Circus.
I've never heard a lot of good about the rooms from what I've seen. But, I can't speak on experience because we haven't stayed there since 2008, our one and only time. But it wasn't a place that we were excited to get back to either.
No. Scary.
We didn't really know any better. I'd only been here a handful of maybe 2 times prior to that. So we were just kind of looking at the rates and what was closest to the Little White Wedding Chapel where we got married. And again, we didn't know any better. So it's a great spot, though.
It is a great location.
Yeah.
And I think what's going on around it is where that $5 billion value is coming from. Because you've got Resorts World Las Vegas, which is an absolutely beautiful property right next door.
Yeah.
You've got Fontainebleau right there also, which
Sahara,
is
too.
Amazing property. Sahara, that's gone through an amazing transformation and is absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
And then you have Circus Circus just kind of hanging out, still doing its thing. But you know what? I do see a lot of promotion. You guys may not see this because you're not watching our local programming, but the Adventure Dome looks like it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's a really popular attraction. Even people not staying at the property go there, especially if they're coming to Vegas, bringing children. And don't come at us about children in Vegas. That's a controversial subject.
People have very strong feelings about children and Vegas. That's not what this is about. Circus Circus or the Adventure Dome is a very family-friendly spot on the Strip, and there's not very many.
No, that's for sure. But I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with it, who buys it. I know that's going to be, they announce it now and it sounds like, oh, cool, that's going to happen right away, but that's not how it works here in Vegas, right? I mean, we know that.
To be fair, though, construction does happen here a lot faster than other places that we've been.
Yeah.
I mean, it's 24/7 construction, and they do amazing things here.
Yeah, I guess it kind of depends if they keep the bones of the property and revamp it into something else, or if they're going to just do a complete tear down and start over to kind of make it look like the rest of that area. But we'll see how that moves along. We'll keep you guys posted. And I'm excited to see something happen there because we've been talking about how one of these things is not like the other for quite some time in that area.
Literally, that's the best way to explain what's going on there. And there's a lot going on the Las Vegas Strip. You've got the A's. If they're still the A's when they get to town, that project is underway over there.
Yeah, I think there's going to still be the Las Vegas A's. Yeah.
There's
athletics.
the Hard Rock project happening at the Mirage.
Yeah, so we've got some time with that.
And the volcano is gone.
Yeah.
If there's any questions or thoughts, ideas, if it's going to still be around, that thing is gone. It's never coming back. So that's happening there. There's going to be a guitar on the Las Vegas Strip. And then you've got Circus going up. And then over by the events, what is it? The Las Vegas events, where they do the live events down there by Sahara.
Okay.
There's a lot going on down in that area also. So there's a lot happening here in Vegas.
Yeah, I feel like there's always construction, road construction, property construction. Even MGM Grand is working on a $300 million renovation for their rooms. All that money is just going to be thrown into renovating their hotel rooms, which I've never thought that they were terrible.
I thought they were fine. And we did get some comments on social media when we did a room tour. It's been a while ago. We did a little property review over there at MGM, and there was some hate. I mean, people have very high expectations when they come to Vegas. Like, oh, they're old and dusty and need to be remodeled. And I was like, are my standards very low? Because I thought the room was great. I really liked it and thought it was a nice, beautiful property.
Yeah.
But then was it because it was my first time? I don't know. You guys let us know what you think.
I don't know. I mean, we've stayed in hotel rooms all the time. We've mentioned in 2024 alone, we stayed 71 nights on the Strip. So I feel like we have a lot of experience staying in hotels. We have stayed at all of the Caesars properties many, many, many times over the years. Same with MGM properties many, many times over the years, properties downtown. So I feel like we kind of have a good gauge of hotel rooms and, and at least knowing what's nasty and what's like nice. I think we have we can agree on that the rooms were fine. But you know what? Different people have different experiences, so.
I was really surprised by that MGM one, the amount of feedback that we got saying they're old and dated. But you guys that made those comments, guess what? You got your wish, because they're putting hundreds of millions of dollars into those rooms, and every single room is going to be touched.
Yeah, and I think they're adding additional rooms, and reservations I think will be starting like at the end of March for those nice new renovated rooms.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
We'll see what happens there.
Last but not least on our news for this podcast is Kenny Chesney, who will be the first country artist, is going to be performing at the Sphere in May and June, and pre-sale tickets are already out there. So if you're interested in seeing Kenny Chesney or attending the first country music concert at the Sphere, you can go ahead and purchase those tickets.
And the Sphere is officially an attraction in Vegas. And that's because of the exterior.
You can't miss it.
You can't miss it. And you know what? That's also another reason that some of the properties are hiking up room rates. Because if you don't have a strip view and you're on the back of the building, because you can see the Sphere from everywhere, you can see on your reservation that it'll say attraction view.
Or experience view.
Experience view.
And
that's really, you're just getting charged more to look at the Sphere. But everything else is the same, which I don't mind it though. The mountain view back there, absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, and I actually enjoy watching. I love when we get a Sphere view because it's just so many things go on it. Then I love the faces. I think the face is my favorite.
There's some spooky ones. There was a guy I don't know if it was a guy because it was looked like a robot, like iRobot, crawling out of it around Halloween.
Yeah, they do the theme. So on Halloween they are a little more creepy vibe, but there. And then they have the cute ones for Christmas where it's a present being unwrapped or the cute little face with its little ugly Christmas sweater on there. So I don't know. I think it's a cool addition to Vegas. It's so Vegas.
Absolutely. That should exist here.
But it is expensive. So if you're planning on attending anything at the Sphere, just know that it is going to cost a lot more than what you may anticipate.
Depending on your budget, that could pretty much chew up majority of it. And it's not just tickets to go in and parking. valet parking versus self-parking, there's a price difference, of course, but also the concessions, drinks and food and memorabilia, t-shirts and your hats and all of that stuff. You're gonna pay a pretty penny for those.
All right, the big story happening is Super Bowl. Now, last year, Vegas, we were home hosting the Super Bowl here. That's not the case this year, but it's still always really busy during Super Bowl.
Absolutely. Absolutely, because we are a sports town. I tell you what, I feel like fewer people come to Vegas to gamble than they do for food, whether it's a celebrity chef, a sporting event, a concert. I feel like that's like the majority of people that are coming to Vegas on vacation are coming for other things than gambling, which is awesome because there's so much more to this city than gambling.
I know.
And we were green on Vegas, and I remember when we first talked about moving here, actually I did. We were here on vacation, having the best time ever, and I said to Christine, I could live here.
And I said, absolutely not.
Specifically Aria, I said, I could live here. This is absolutely beautiful property. They have condos for sale. She said, no way. And here we are all these years later. And that's because we got off of the Strip. And there's so much more to Vegas. Like, it's a regular community.
It is.
There's subdivisions, there's Little League, there's Pee Wee football and marathons and farmers markets. I mean, it's really home outside of the Strip, and I think the more people venture off of the Strip, the better appreciation that you really get for Las Vegas as a city. There's just so much more. I don't know why I went on that tangent. I feel like I'm always defending this town where people say, oh, I don't go to Vegas because I don't gamble. And I'm like, well, leave the casino then and do something else. There's so much more.
You love tangents.
I do love tangents. I'm a ranter. I can go for a good rant.
All right, well, bringing it back, Super Bowl.
Super Bowl, yes. This is a great place to just watch sports.
Yes.
The energy is here. The sports books are jumping. People are wearing their jerseys. It's just like a nice, really good vibe.
Yeah, and it's typically busy here during football season, college football, professional football. We always have people coming in, but the difference with Super Bowl is more people come in. And you know what? A lot of the businesses here capitalize on that and put together viewing parties.
Yes.
So when you normally would be here to watch a game and you could just pop into a sports book for free or a sports bar and just, order your drinks and your food there and just watch the game, it's not the case for Super Bowl.
No, not at all. So viewing parties, what does a viewing party mean? That means there's going to be a cover charge to get into the establishment. There's also most likely going to be spend minimums per person or per table to watch, and that's in addition to everything else that you're already spending on.
Yeah.
So be prepared for that, guys.
Yeah. So it might be like $30, $40 just to go in and watch the game, and then you're going to need to buy your own drinks, buy your own food, and other places have packages that can range anywhere from in the 100s up to, we've seen one for 500, and that can include your spot to watch the game, and also the food and the drinks as well. So maybe a better value as long as you eat and drink a lot, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, because you're going to be eating probably wings and nachos and drinking beers, and you can find decent packages for a viewing party where you're guaranteed a spot, watch the game with your friends, and the food and beverages included.
Yeah. So, definitely check with if there's a favorite place that you like to watch the game. Make sure that you check in with them ahead of time to see if they are going to have reservation only, if it's going to cost you anything. And I would do that right away so you don't miss out. I don't know if you looked at some of the ones that are out there for pricing, but Circa Sportsbook they take the top, $500 a person to watch the game
in the sportsbook,
which is amazing.
And the sportsbook, I don't know how they're going to pull that off. Derek Stevens is a genius, though. We've met him, we've interviewed him on our television show, Night Island Connection. Really great guy, brilliant entrepreneur. And Circa was really, in my opinion, is a sportsbook with a casino hotel around it. Because that's really the focal point. So they're always going to go big. However, I don't know how they're going to pull off the $500 per person to watch the game, because you can see the sports book from all 3 floors of the casino. So I'm not sure how they're going to pull that off. Maybe you just can't stand around the casino and watch the screens because that's a 3-story sports book.
Yeah, that's they're gonna have to up the security on that one, I think.
But they do have a bargain.
Yeah, they do. If you call it a bargain, $125 per person. You can actually watch it in Stadium Swim, which, if you're not familiar, that is their amazing rooftop pool that actually looks like a sports book itself. It's like an outdoor sports book. So you can watch it from. They have multiple pools out there. So I don't know if I would personally want to be in a pool during the winter weather on the roof where it's even windier. But I don't know. They're heated pools, so maybe it's not so bad.
And you know what? It's a beautiful, beautiful property. We go there all the time. And that pool is always a vibe. Like, it's just always, they have a great social media team to promote that property and that pool. And it's definitely one of those that when you come across them on social media, you want to be there.
Yes, yeah. Definitely high energy and way different than anything else downtown, for
Absolutely.
sure. For sure. Some of the other Super Bowl things that we've seen out there. There's restaurants that have packages that are like in the 200s, like Carmine's in the Forum Shops at Caesars has a package for $265 to watch the game, which I never really thought about Carmine's being a place to watch sports.
No.
It's a great restaurant and great food.
The food is absolutely amazing. 10 out of 10, highly recommend. But it would not be at the top of my list to go watch a football game or really any sporting event. I wouldn't say we've got to get to Carmine's. But maybe that's what they're doing with this package and really promoting it now is to be known for that or have people come there because the Forum Shops attached to Caesar's property is perfect because you can stay at Caesar's Palace and never leave. With the Forum Shops there, you've got so much dining, you've got retail, just taking a walk and getting out of the casino. It's really a nice thing to have there. We've stayed at Caesars before and not left the property.
Yeah, it's really nice when it's like too hot or too cold to just be in there. I like having that option. And then you have all the dining options inside of Caesars and then the Forum Shops too, which makes that nice.
Yeah, so smart for them to take advantage of the fact that there's going to be so many people in town for Super Bowl.
Yeah. For sure. I also thought it was kind of interesting. I don't know if you saw this. Some of the gentlemen's clubs here in Vegas are actually hosting Super Bowl viewing parties as well.
Well, they probably figure that we don't have numbers in front of us, but highly likely that majority of people coming to town to watch the Super Bowl specifically are going to be men and probably groups of men coming here to watch the game. And highly probable that the majority of customers that frequent the gentlemen's clubs are men and or groups of men celebrating something or just doing something different here in Vegas. So smart for them to do that. I wasn't surprised at all. That's like low-hanging fruit for them.
Probably, yeah. I can see your point with that one. I guess, well, if you don't enjoy the halftime show of Kendrick Lamar, you can have your own halftime show if you're attending the viewing parties at the gentlemen's clubs.
Did you guys do your research on there? Figure that one out. All right, let's talk about Hard Rock Cafe. That one, so Hard Rock Cafe on the Strip is down there near MGM. It's by, what is that, like M&M World or something that's there. It's right in that area.
Yeah, where there's like an ABC store, Ross, all that Target, the new Target is there.
Kind of across from Park MGM.
Yeah.
In that area right there. So Hard Rock Cafe, they're having a big game party. That's going to be $300 per person if you're down on that side and wanted to check them out.
Yeah, and this is, I mean, I think every time there's a big event here, like even during like Formula One, they were doing viewing parties for that. When Tropicana was imploded, they were doing viewing parties. So anytime I think there's an opportunity to have a party and charge a little extra for it, I think the businesses in Vegas are definitely going to do that because people pay for it.
Yes.
They wouldn't do it if people weren't paying for it.
Well, because you're entertained, right? It's entertainment. So. And people go. That's why they charge. They charge because people go. All of these places that we're talking about, they're going to sell tickets. They'll probably be at capacity and be turning people away. That's why they do it. And it's a fun time. I mean, a lot of people come to Vegas maybe once a year, maybe once every couple years, and do it big. So things like this are just such a fun experience to add into your trip.
Yeah, and we'll be watching it from the comforts of our couch.
Absolutely.
Plenty of snacks, plenty of beer.
Let's see, we've also got over at the Westgate. The Westgate is massive for sports betting. They're like known as the sports book here in Vegas. And they're going to have a Las Vegas big game party. That's what they're titling it, $275 per person. I like the Westgate because it's on the monorail. And it's kind of cold right now. I don't want to be outside walking down Las Vegas Boulevard. You can take the monorail down there. It's right there. And it's a really nice property.
Yeah, and I mean, there's you can bet on every casino property is going to have a very busy sports book, may require reservations. You can bet that all the fun sports bars, and even some of the restaurants that are here that are not necessarily a sports bar, are going to be doing something for Super Bowl. So again, you're going to have to do your research on that if you want to watch the game here in Vegas.
Yeah, like Carmine's. Not a sports bar.
Yeah.
That one is just weird for me. I love Carmine's, and this is nothing bad about Carmine's. I would just never, again, and that's just like stuck, see them as like a sports bar destination, but they're doing it, and I'm sure they will sell out.
Yeah, there's a lot of places. All right, moving into our weekend update.
So let's talk about what's going on in Vegas if you're going to be here this upcoming weekend. And like always, we're going to start with weather because weather plays a major factor. And you guys coming to town, if you've never been to Vegas this time of year, it's cold. It gets cold in Vegas. It gets near freezing or even below freezing, depending on where you are in the valley. So be prepared for that.
And it's cold for us here in Vegas. And it's cold if you're coming from like Florida or Hawaii. It's probably warm if you're coming from Canada or Minnesota.
Yes.
Those are the people that you see in shorts and t-shirts here when it's like 50 degrees.
Those are also the ones that are in the pool in the middle of March when they first open, and it's like mid-50s.
Yeah.
They're in the pool. And we know that they're from the north.
Yes. So, but for all purposes, it's chilly for us here in Vegas.
Yes. So be prepared. And be prepared to take that jacket off because the casinos, the restaurants, anywhere you are indoor, they crank the heat up. And it's an immediate change as soon as you walk in. So be prepared for that.
Yeah, and so here's what you can expect this weekend for weather. Weather here is actually, when it's cooler like this, if you're an outdoors person, there are things that you can do where the weather during this time of the year is nice. If you like to be outdoors and don't want to be melting like the summer months, or let's be honest, the spring and the fall months here, we really don't have.
I have no complaints.
I like the hot months.
I take 120 any day of the week over anything below 60.
Yeah, and so that's why we actually spend this time of the year exploring a lot of the indoor attractions that we don't usually get to during the warmer months where we actually enjoy being outside. We've been to a few lately. We went to check out Atomic Golf. That's a newer golf attraction or golf entertainment venue. I can't even call it an attraction.
It's not an attraction.
It's an entertainment venue. That's over down by the Strat. And that place is really cool.
Oh, it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. And from the outside, it's a little bit, when you go in, it's not what you expect. On the inside. It's absolutely beautiful and really high tech.
Yeah, it's kind of just like a regular old building, and then you go in and it's like, boom, it's like lit up and colorful, and there's like 4 stories, and there's music, loud music happening.
There's a catwalk.
Bars everywhere. Yeah.
It's kind of like Area 15. Area 15 is like that, where it's just like, it looks like a massive warehouse from outside, and you go inside and you're like, of course this exists in Vegas.
Yeah, it's really cool. I mean, they have like the golf lake where you can, like the bays, like kind of similar to like what Top Golf has, but they also have these like the cannon things. Those were like so much fun. They have these like cannons that are like, you load them with golf balls and you're like holding them, and it's just, and you're shooting them out. It's so much fun. It's so different. Like, so for someone like me who is not like an avid golfer, I thought that was a lot more fun than just your regular golf. But I mean, it's kind of up to whatever people like to do.
They have a lot of concerts there. They have a lot of big events there as well in that stage, that big open area. It's really a lot of fun. It doesn't cost anything to go inside and just check it out. You don't have to golf. You don't have to eat. You can just walk in and just go check the venue out.
I would recommend eating there though. The food is pretty good there. They have this lobster popcorn. It's like lobster chopped up with like in butter with popcorn on it. It's just sounds so bizarre, but it's delicious.
Works.
Yeah, it works together.
You're gonna have a lot of butter on your lobster anyway.
Yeah.
Popcorn is just, you get the salty sweet. I think it works.
Yeah, it was delicious. Another golf venue that we actually went to was Swingers. That is a mini golf venue. Despite the name might make it sound a little different than what it is. It's Swingers Las Vegas. They focus on crazy mini golf.
You're swinging a club. It's not a swingers club.
Yes, thank you for
let's
clarifying
go ahead and
that.
make sure that we put that out there.
But that just recently opened at Mandalay Bay, and it's huge. It's I want to say it's their third location. Here in the United States. Yeah. They have 2, I think, over in the UK where it originated. But that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
You're like in this crazy, like, I guess, English garden.
You're like in a countryside is the feel.
Yeah.
It's definitely worth checking out, popping in there.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and you're drinking while you're mini golfing, which is always cool. They have people bringing out drinks and
golf
stuff.
Go together anyway.
Yeah. And they have like this big like old school arcade where you can play like a
classic,
whack-a-mole and
carnival games.
Yeah.
They've got the water gun balloon thing filling up.
Yeah.
Definitely a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was really cool. We had a good time there for sure. So if you're a golf person and you're looking for something to do indoors, Atomic Golf and Swingers Las Vegas, both really cool attractions here, and both located on the Strip.
Yeah. There's also another, I don't know how new they are, but there's Flyover Vegas. That's over there.
They've been here for a while.
Have they been here for a minute?
Yeah, they've been here for a while.
It was my first time. I know that they're in other cities. Minneapolis, I believe you went with your mom and sister to the one in Minneapolis.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
There's this one here in Vegas. It's so much fun. It's a simulated experience. We did the Chicago one where they actually used drones that the company, I forget the name of the company that is over Flyover, but they built drones specifically for Chicago because you can't fly helicopters, of course, throughout the city and between the buildings. And so, I mean, it's amazing. I don't even have the words to describe it. It is immersive. It truly is an immersive
you feel
experience.
like the wind. You feel like if you're going through something wet, like they squirt like a mist in your
when
face.
They go over the water and the boats are going. Absolutely amazing experience.
Yeah,
and one thing I want to disclose very quickly is none of these places that we talk about pay us to recommend anything. Yeah. Nobody pays us for anything here on this podcast. This is purely based on our experience and us just wanting to share it with you guys.
Yeah, so if you're looking for, again, some indoor fun while you're here in Vegas that's taken a little bit of a break from the casino, those are a few suggestions that we really enjoyed.
Yeah.
There's so many other things though to do here in Vegas that do a little bit of research, you will find something that you love to do. And I know we're talking a lot about this Strip because we spend a lot of time on the Strip, and I don't want to ignore downtown either. But there is a really cool place that just recently opened up downtown on the Fremont Street Experience called Crash and Burn. It's in the Neonopolis building, which is like that kind of funky looking building that's near the Slotzilla.
It's where they have the Heart Attack Burger.
Oh yeah,
the Heart Attack
Grill,
Heart Attack Grill. Yeah, with a massive freight scale out front. And I think it's 300 pounds. If you're 300 pounds or more, you eat for free.
Yeah. And you get to wear the little hospital gowns, and if you don't finish your food, they spank you.
It's an interesting, I mean, if you're a burger person, the burgers actually are pretty tasty.
Yeah.
We've eaten there before, and it's good food.
But yeah, it's kind of in that vicinity of the Fremont Street Experience on, I believe it is the second level, I think.
Yeah.
And they have mini bowling, which was so much fun.
It's like pin bowling though?
Yeah,
There's like
pin bowling.
Strings attached to the top of it.
Yeah.
It's a lot harder than it looks.
Oh my gosh, it's so hard.
Check your ego at the door because it's a lot harder than it looks.
But I mean, if you're really good at it, you could actually win $3,000 if you bowl a perfect game.
Perfect game. And I think you could get like $250 if you bowl like $250 to $300.
Yeah. We weren't anywhere near that.
No. No.
We were not anywhere near that when we tried. But it was a lot of fun and something completely different to do. And then it is a bar and restaurant too, but we didn't really
course.
experience that. But they have like this big outside bar area that gives you these incredible views of the Fremont Street experience, which to me personally, that is one of the best places to people watch. If you're a people watching person like I am, I love being down on Fremont because, you know, you see a lot down there. I'll leave it at that.
Well, and you also have a view of the Slotzilla. That's like the start of the Slotzilla right
Yeah.
outside of there. So you get to see people like screaming as they're taking off, going down the zip line there,
Yeah.
which is a lot of fun.
Yeah. Another thing that we loved downtown was over at the Plaza. If you guys haven't been to the Plaza lately, you have to check it out. They've done so much over at that place.
Yeah.
They've included the Sand Dollar, which is their second location for Sand Dollar. That is an iconic lounge here in Las Vegas with free live music.
Yeah.
So the Sand Dollar downtown is inside of the Plaza, and it's so fun. They have all these craft cocktails, a beer vending machine, which
A
is
beer vending
so
machine, which
interesting.
of course that exists. And I don't know why I was surprised the first time that I saw it. Because it's Vegas. Why would there not be a beer vending machine?
I know, it's, you know, because you know,
They should have more.
you can't wait
actually.
in line.
They should
right?
have more.
They should have them on every hotel, every
And
floor.
the grocery store and Target. I mean, that should be a thing.
Okay. But they have that. They have a Pink Box Donuts they opened up, a Brian Christopher Slots, which is
Non-smoking.
non-smoking. It's the
Yep.
only non-smoking casino property downtown that's also social media friendly. If you're
Yep.
not familiar with who Brian Christopher Slots is, he has a huge YouTube following, social media following on
Gambling.
On gambling. He's
Yep.
a slot player.
Yep.
And then, of course, you can't miss it. They put this beautiful carousel bar out there under those famous lights that I'm sure you guys have seen in
Yep.
like the video from The Weekend. It's been in like so many movies.
It was Biff's place in Back to the Future
Yeah.
too, the Plaza.
Yeah. But look at me, I'm getting on tangents here too. See, they're contagious. Anyway, one of the things we loved that they added to the Plaza is in their showroom. They have this amazing, beautiful, old school Vegas vibe showroom that is
Yes.
actually some of the, like Frank Sinatra performed there. I mean, we're talking
Yeah.
old school, like classic Vegas, and it's just so cool.
And it hasn't been, it's not like it was restored or built recently to look like that. Like this is what it looked like when the doors opened.
Yeah.
It's the same.
Yeah.
It's like, it's that classic Vegas lounge that people think of when they think of old school Vegas and that you see in movies when they try to replicate it. This is what they're going after, and this is like legit. The old chandeliers are there.
It's just cool.
It's such a cool, nostalgic spot right in downtown Las Vegas.
Yeah, and it's a perfect fit for Misbehave's Maverick is the show that they're having there. And if you guys are familiar with Misbehave, she used to have the Misbehave game show at Bally's that closed down like right, you know, during the unfortunate COVID close down of a lot of Vegas shows. But she is so much fun, and she brings all these different unique performers. And it's free parking, the drinks are affordable, the tickets are affordable. And it's like such a unique Vegas show. I mean, like a couple minutes you're watching somebody like who's a contortionist, and then somebody comes out singing.
And then there's sword swallowing.
She's a Guinness Book of World Records sword swallower.
Which I didn't know that was a category, but she's there.
Yes.
Yep, she holds that record.
Which
Or
is-
I don't know if she still does, but she did at one point at least.
Yeah, at one point she did, and then I think she stopped it and let everyone else take over. But yeah, so crazy. I don't know how I can't
It's such
imagine.
a fun show.
Yeah.
Definitely worth checking out. Actually, it's probably one of the most budget-friendly shows for the quality of entertainment that you're gonna get. Like, it's an amazing value.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's one of those shows that I can't wait for people to come visit, and that's going to be something that we'll be taking
Absolutely.
friends and family that are visiting to see that show, because I love it. I can't wait to go back. And they do mix up the different performances too, so I feel
so
like
not
when we
every
go
show
again,
is the same.
yeah, when we go back, we'll probably see something completely different. Although she's always there sword swallowing, so that's just, I can't even imagine how you learn to do that.
Yeah,
It's-
we're keeping this family friendly, so we're just gonna move on from there. We don't want to get in trouble.
Okay.
This is
Well,
only our second podcast. We want to do three. Number 3 and number 4. So We are a family-friendly show, folks.
Okay. All right. So on that note, continuing with entertainment, here are some of the events that are going to be happening this week here in Vegas. We've got Tears for Fears at the Fontainebleau, beautiful property. That's happening on the 5th and the 7th. And there's also Yacht Rock featuring the Docksiders at the 1923 Prohibition Bar. That's in the Venetian. There are actually 2 locations of the 1923 Prohibition Bar. There's one in Mandalay Bay and one at the Venetian. The one at the Venetian is known for their live music, and that's where you're going to find the Docksiders on the 6th, 7th, and 8th.
Mariah Carey, she's coming to town, and she's not bringing Jennifer Lopez with her. She's going to be over at the Dolby Theater, which is a great, great venue for music. There's not a bad seat in the house. That's over at the Park MGM. Park MGM is really, it's the only non-smoking casino on the Las Vegas Strip. The entire property is non-smoking, even the pool area. So if you're looking for a break from that, which it does catch up with you, Park MGM is good for that. And again, that theater, not a bad seat in the house. Mariah's going to be there on the 5th, the 7th, and the 8th. Shania Twain, she's coming back. She's going to be at the Back Theater. She did have a residency, and then she left, and then she came back for a couple final shows, and I think she's back again for the final shows before her Encore final shows probably come up at the end of the year. That's another great venue there. That used to be the Zappos Theater. She's going to be there the 5th, the 7th, and the 8th. You've also got Janet. Go ahead.
And that kind of sounds a little bit like what was going on the weekend prior.
Yeah, because Yacht Rock, Mariah comes to town quite a bit throughout the year. So
they'll have residencies.
Yeah, so Shania coming now, if you're not going to catch her here, highly likely she'll be back in Vegas at some point. She's kind of like Bruno Mars in that way, where he's just sporadically throughout the year in Vegas.
Yep, for sure. You've got Jenna Jackson over at Resorts World Las Vegas. She's going to be there on the 5th, 7th, and the 8th. And then you have NIC.
I think this is the most interesting one. This one right here is probably the most interesting, and I'm very curious.
I kind of want to just go see it because I don't know how this. You have NIC, who's, rap, hip hop type of music, performing with the Las Vegas Philharmonic at the CWIN. So that's just an interesting combination there.
Yeah.
So I would love to see how that would turn out.
If you guys have been to that, or if you're coming to town for that, please let us know about your experience. Genuinely curious to see how that comes together.
For sure.
It's kind of like the Tony Braxton, Cedric the Entertainer combination. They're not here this weekend. They were here a couple weeks ago. But they've been performing for like over a year together.
Yeah.
Tony Braxton and Cedric the Entertainer. And I'm just very curious what that show is like. So please share. Hit us up. Let us know what that's about.
That show at NIC at the Las Vegas Philharmonic is going to be at the CWIN the 5th, the 7th, and the 8th.
And we've got Blake Shelton doing his thing over at Caesars Coliseum the 5th, the 7th, and 8th.
That's kicking off his residency here.
Kicking off the residency.
He's a new resident here, a residency, not resident.
Well, who
I don't
knows,
want to start
because
rumors.
he tends to pop up at Ole Red. That's out in front of Horseshoe. He tends to pop up there from time to time, unannounced. There's no like cover charge or anything, because he just like shows up. Kind of like Mark Wahlberg shows up around town. He lives here in town. There's a lot of people that live in town that you may not think live in Vegas that just show up at different places.
Smart, though. That's smart, because that's his business. I mean, he's obviously going to be, if there's a rumor that he's in town performing his show and he might be at Ole Red, think of how many more people are going to be flocking into Ole Red to maybe get a live performance for free, kind of.
And he can't really do like an undercover boss.
Yeah.
I think too many people know who he is.
Yeah, and sometimes Gwen Stefani's with him too.
She did do.
Yeah, they did perform
together for the Stanley Cup Championship that was here in Vegas. Gwen was supposed to perform, do like a couple songs, but then Blake showed up, and they just gave a full concert for free outside of T-Mobile Arena.
Was that for? You know what? I think that was for Super Bowl.
Oh, that was Super Bowl.
Yeah, you're meshing
Sorry
all our
about that. I'm
events
messing.
together.
I mean, there's just so much, guys. I've only got so much space in here. But do you feel a commitment though when I deliver that?
Yes.
That was like, I believed it.
You believe it.
So that did happen.
We don't want to have fake
Wrong
news.
event, but it did happen. Fact check me, guys.
Yes.
Fact check me. You've got to Snopes me.
Yeah, right? So Blake again will be at the Coliseum on the 5th, 7th, and 8th.
Grand Funk Railroad over at the Golden Nugget down on the 7th, which is perfectly fitting for them. The
Yes.
Golden Nugget is perfect.
Yep.
Foster the People going to be over at Fontainebleau on the 8th. Absolutely beautiful property. Whether you're going there for Foster the People or not, definitely worth just popping in. It is a little bit of a commitment though, because it's not really walking distance and the monorail doesn't go there. So you have to take a ride share or just take that walk, ride share or taxi, the Deuce, however you get down there. But totally worth it if you can find the time.
There's also Daniel Tosh over at the Cosmopolitan on the 8th. The Cosmopolitan is just one of those properties that we always recommend people come and check out when they're here in Vegas. It's so pretty. That chandelier is amazing. It starts at the 3rd level and is all the way down to the casino floor level on the 1st floor. Amazing. And then just walking around the property, they have all these funky like art
Just like little
sculptures
things
and
that are
random
just
things.
in random places.
So if you're looking for just, to walk off the pizza from Secret Pizza, take a little walk around there. There's just a lot of fun things to see there.
And it's an MGM property now. So if you guys are MGM Rewards members, Cosmopolitan is under that umbrella now.
Yay, finally.
Yep.
Finally. All right. And that's everything that's going on here in Vegas as far as people coming into Vegas. Of course, all of the regular smaller shows, your cirques, your comedy shows, your magic shows, those are all still happening here in Vegas.
Yep.
Highly recommend adding at least one of those to your list. We have so many great talented folks here in Vegas performing those shows that you definitely don't want to miss out on those because they're here all the time, yes,
Yep.
but they're awesome. Support them like you'd support a small business.
Yes,
for
exactly.
sure.
That's what they are. They are small businesses. And with all of the massive names that come through town, it takes away from the smaller shows like Misbehave, Purple Rain over at the V Theater in Planet Hollywood. And those guys, they're just doing it like 6-7 days a week, couple shows a night. And they are a small business. They own everything. So definitely an affordable alternative to say like a Mariah Carey or a Bruno Mars. If you don't have that budget but you want to catch a show, there's so many options out there, guys.
And a lot of times you actually can find discounted tickets on like Groupon,
Yep.
And different other sources around Vegas that will give you discounted tickets for these smaller shows. So highly, highly recommend adding those smaller shows, as well as checking out different Vegas attractions that are here on the Strip and downtown and off the Strip. There are so many things to see and do here in Vegas. That is why we love this city.
All right, guys, that's a wrap on this one. Thank you for watching. Reach out to us, drop us an email at info@ninthislandconnection.com. If you guys have any questions, anything that you guys want us to talk about in future podcasts, hit us up. Happy to help you guys.
Yep, and make sure you follow us on all of our social media. We are on all social media platforms. We are Ninth Island Connection everywhere.
If you want more of what's going on in Vegas, stay right here on Hey Vegas. Our television show, Ninth Island Connection, streams here so you can watch everything that we've been talking about right from the comfort of your own home or on the road, streaming on the Hey Vegas app.